Be afraid and do it anyways. That's kind of one of the things we talk about often is do things in spite of fear, do things that make you uncomfortable. So everyone, Chef Katrina here, yet again, documenting my 90 days, counting down to becoming CEO. What's interesting as I do this, what I find fascinating is that the more I count down to becoming CEO, the more I actually step into the role of being CEO. Of what I'm doing. And a lot of times there's some uncomfortable ground, right? There's definitely some doubts, some concerns, some what ifs, how so's, how am I going to make that happen? Ooh, turn off the light here. It went dark. How do I make that happen? What am I focused on? How is I going to get everything to work? There's always like those little like pieces of doubt, of worry, of concern. And if you dwell too long on what the doubt is, what the fear is, you might find yourself going, I'm not going to move forward at all. And that's sometimes what I bump up against. There are times when the unknown for me is enough to make me go, gee, I don't know if I should move forward at all. I don't know if I should continue down this path. And then I start thinking, is this a good idea? What am I getting into? Am I supported? It's just crazy, right? Crazy. So we talk about, be afraid and do it anyway. And just on the other side of that is that uncomfortableness, right? Just on the other side of that is the opportunity. Just on the other side of that, it's what's possible in your business. Now, when I have to keep reminding myself. So I'm rereading the book, Think and Grow Rich. And it's been a while since I've picked up this book and actually gone through it. I remember reading it probably like 7 or 8 years ago. And I keep hearing all my mentors tell me, pick this book up, go back through it again, read it at least once a year, if not twice a year, and really get present to what it is you're thinking, right? Get present to what it is you're doing in your business and have and create that burning desire to move forward in your business. So I'm sitting here going, I said I would and have a Pinterest ad agency. I said I would become the CEO of that business. I said I would be supporting and helping entrepreneurs grow and build their business. All these things that I have been a burning desire to do, it's all coming to fruition. And there's a little piece of me that's going, OMG, like, what did I get myself into? And there's another piece of me that's trying to figure out how to backpedal as fast as I possibly can, because I'm just as afraid of screwing this up as succeeding in this, right? I think I'm even more afraid of succeeding in this in some respects. And that's that inner battle I fight all the time, right? It's like a constant. It's like I want to move forward and I feel myself dragged back. I want to work with the team, but I don't want to be held accountable by the team, right? I want to be independent, but I miss the camaraderie of the team. There's like this constant battle back and forth around this business and stepping into your greatness, right? And, one of the interesting things is I do talk with all my clients and I talk with my students, and I talk about this often, is that we have to do what makes us uncomfortable, right? So it's like face your fear and do it anyway. So today was definitely all about that. I will say that right now, it was like every roadblock I could come up against. And my default way of being, or my way of dealing with that sometimes, is to just shut down. I feel physically exhausted. Like I can feel like I can go to sleep at any time. A lot of times I just want to get up and walk away from the task I'm doing. I get distracted. I'll go, oh, I got to go to the bathroom, or I got to go grab something to eat, or, oh, someone needs my, like I will find excuses to put off doing or having conversations that I know need to be have, right? And that I know I deal with, and I'm dealing with that all the time. So what I'm learning is that I do need to be surrounded by people that keep pushing me forward, right? That keep, supporting me and challenging me and saying, okay, no, we got to do this. Like, we need this for the business. And that accountability, right, especially as a solo entrepreneur, is really important. We have that experience most of the times in the corporate world. Like if I look back now as I'm sharing this with you, and I look back at my time at Disney, right? I was always surrounded by management team, right? We're always working together. We're always discussing situations and problems and things that came up. We were discussing, ordering and foods and menus and, our staff and everything else, just making sure that we were always communicating with each other so that every single person on the management team knew how to support the entire kitchen, right? Because if you don't know what's going on in the kitchen and you walk in blindfolded, it's the worst thing you can experience in management. So what's interesting and what I'm kind of seeing myself do here is that when you get into the world of online marketing, you tend to be the solo ship, right? Because you're sitting behind a computer like this, right? You're learning technology, which is one of the most frustrating things to learn, especially for me, coming from being a chef in the kitchen. I'm used to picking up things, holding things in my hands, and all of a sudden I'm dealing with a virtual world where I can't figure out how a website connects to an email autoresponder. I don't understand how Facebook, talks to, like, the whole virtual concept of how it all links together is, to me, still mind-blowing. But I also know that if I'm not accepting technology, I'm resisting it, then I have no place to grow my business. So, inside of that, and you might be experiencing this for yourself, right? Being a solo entrepreneur, you take on many hats, right? You take on the hat of your building out your brand. You take on the hat of building out your website. You take on the hat of taking care of your finances. You take on the hat of just being everything, because you might not have the money initially, especially when you get started. I know I was broke beyond broke, just to get, be honest. And so I was always, trying to figure out how to stay afloat financially. So a lot of times I had to do things myself. And I invested a lot of time in learning those skills. But the thing is in having learned those skills, I know them all myself. But there's also a piece of me that says, hey, I can just outsource this, or hey, why can't I just pay somebody to do this for me? So there's always an element that I'm looking at when I think about how we build our businesses online, is that we all try to do it in a vacuum. We think that we're solo entrepreneurs. That means that we have to be solo in our business, that we have to be everything to everybody. And the truth is you can't do that. You cannot successfully, in my experience now to date in the last 7 years, successfully build a business all by yourself. It just does not work. You absolutely need to be plugged into either a community, a tribe. You need to have 2 or 3 friends and partners that are in this with you, because the more you try to do it alone, the more resistance and the harder it gets to build. The more you'll let this up here start taking you out of the game, because you'll hear no's and you have nobody to discuss those no's with. You'll hear resistance where there might just be somebody saying, well, it's just not right now for me. You might hear anger where there's no anger there. You might hear defeat where there's no defeat. So it really does take being around other entrepreneurs to understand what you're going through, because we get it. I mean, we all sit here behind our computers trying to do lead generation, trying to do, Facebook lives, YouTube lives, blog posts. We're looking for ways to get our value out there, get our word out there and what we're doing. So the struggle for us as sole entrepreneurs is that it's real, right? It's truly, I literally battled against everything today. And the only thing that got me off my boat was having a conversation with one of my teammates, and they said, hey, did you get this done yet? And I realized I needed to be accountable to somebody else to do the work that would make a difference in my business. And so that's why I invite you today to look at, like, what is your fear? What are you afraid of in asking for help? What is the fear of reaching up or reaching out? I mean, if you're afraid of making a mistake, welcome. We've all made it. If you're afraid of making it look funny or asking a stupid question, well, I will tell you this, and I tell this to everybody I ever work with: no question is stupid unless you don't ask it, right? Your question is valid because it's a question. Entrepreneurs get curious about asking questions because that's how we're looking to get information. That's look for understanding, right? To understand something, you have to seek out how to be understood. So we have to ask questions. We have to learn how to better communicate with each other. That's the only true way to grow business, grow partnerships, and move forward. You cannot build your business in a vacuum. You cannot build your business just by yourself. So it is imperative that you reach out, and you look at what community can you be a part of that truly supports you, right? Whether it be a virtual community or a group community that you're part of. I've been involved in a lot of group communities because it's imperative to be surrounded by like-minded people, especially if you don't have anybody at home right now that can help you do that. So with that, if you're interested in learning how to be part of an entrepreneurial community, because this community is the only thing that is literally helping me stay focused, stay connected, and build, right? And I invite you to be part of that community because I know the difference and the impact it will make for you. So if you want to learn more, there's a 3-minute video link down in the discussion down below. But discover for yourself. Find out if being part of this entrepreneurial community makes sense for your business. And again, only you can decide that. But what I'm discovering is that every day that I plug in and every day that I stay involved in this community in one form or another is how I'm leveling up my business quicker and faster than if I continue to try to do it on my own. So that's my experience thus far. So you got to look at your fear, do it anyways, move forwards. And with that, I hope you're having an amazing day. It is a Thursday. I can't believe it. We're already through this week. It feels like a productive week, and it also feels like an unproductive week. So we'll see what happens on Friday to turn this all around and see how we come out of this. But I know we've got contracts in place for the Pinterest ad agency. I've got leaders that I'm speaking with that are looking for a couple of last minute details around, joining the Young Entrepreneur Project and inside this community and leveraging it to grow their business. So there's a lot of really good things that are happening. And sometimes it just takes a little longer for it to happen than what you hope for. And I think that's part of the patience and that's part of the growing. So, yep, that's what I got to share with you today. I know I'm a little earlier than normal, but I hope you're having a fabulous one. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And with that, I also look forward to seeing you inside of the Entrepreneur Project community. With that, have a great one. Talk to you soon.